What's going on, guys? So this video is interesting, at least to me. Might not be to you, but hopefully it is. But I am super fed up with the situation that my GMC Denali has kind of put in front of me that I've never really had to deal with in the past. I don't have that truck with me today, and it's probably a good thing because I was really frustrated the other day. So here's the challenge that I had. So we have this cargo trailer right here, and it's a super light cargo trailer. It only has like a gross vehicle weight rating of like 3,000 pounds, like 1,500 pounds worth of cargo. But we use this thing all the time because it is a super convenient trailer to have on hand whenever we're moving maybe a big piece of furniture around. And, you know, in fact, we were just doing that. My daughter moved back, and we were in the process of moving some stuff. We had to move a crib, we had to move some mattresses, we had to move a headboard, and some other large items. And then I also needed to move some things from here, and we were coming out here to use this. So we had the GMC Denali, and you know, I've made a video on this in the past, but I want to tell you what happened and why I was so frustrated. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so as many of you know, the GMC half-ton truck Denali that we have and a lot of other GMC and Chevrolet pickup trucks lack a four-way connector below the seven-way connector on the bumper. In some cases, if you get a larger truck and it has the bed side connector, which is the plug on the inside of the bed, it has a four-way connector on the bottom of that plug. So if you have like a fifth wheel connection and use a seven-way below that plug on the inside of the bed, you have a four-way connector. Well, on the back of our Denali and many Chevy trucks with a higher trim package that have the option for auxiliary cameras that you can use in your trailer or on the back of your trailer, they've eliminated that four-way plug. So you don't have a four-way plug anymore. It's just a seven-way connector and then a plug for those cameras below it. And on half-ton trucks inside of the bed, there is not a side plug there for, at least for a trailer connection, because it's not designed to haul a fifth wheel or a gooseneck. So my red truck, Big Red F450, wasn't here. It was actually at my daughter's house, and we had the black truck. And I was like, you know what, let's go pick up the trailer. Let's go grab the trailer, and we'll be in good shape. Well, we get over here, we hitch up to it, and I totally forget that we don't have a four-way plug, and I don't have my four-way to six-way or four-way to seven-way adapter with me. I don't know where it's at. It's probably laying somewhere in the yard. I don't know, but it's just not here. And there's absolutely no way to hook up the trailer lights to the Denali. There's none at all, unless I, you know, cut the wires off and plugged it into the holes, which is not a smart idea to do. And I had no way of towing this trailer legally because I wouldn't have had any operating turn signals or brake lights. And I was super frustrated. I mean, I was just infuriated by this. I don't know why I got so frustrated, but just the fact that I was here with my truck, I was hitched up to it, we were ready to go, just to find out that trailers that utilize this plug wouldn't be compatible with the Denali, or at least with our trim package that has the cameras. And I would venture to say most Denalis and most of your higher trim Chevys are going to have that exact same scenario presented. Big plea to the folks over at General Motors is I really think the four-way connector is probably more important than the camera connector, but at least put something there that allows you to connect your normal size trailers that a lot of half-ton trucks are going to tow all the time to the truck without needing some type of a special adapter. My truck did not come with an adapter. If it did, it was removed. I scoured the whole truck looking for it, but I do not have a four-way to seven-way adapter that came with my truck. I know some people said it was in their glove box, under their seat. I don't have one. So unless it was removed, which I don't think it was, because my truck came to me with like 10 miles on it and it still had everything wrapped in it, and if it were there, I probably would have found it. But that said, we're going to do a little operation today, and I am going to remove that obstacle. So there's two things I want to do to this trailer. One of them is to replace the 2-inch coupler here with a 2 5/16 inch coupler, because I hate having to switch my ball on my hitch just for this one trailer. All my other trailers have a 2 5/16 inch coupler, and this is the only one that doesn't. So I need to get that swapped out, or find a way to swap that out. I already have kind of a means to do it, but it would require me cutting all these welds and essentially removing this whole front end off of the A-frame of my trailer, which is something that I don't want to do. So if there's another way to do it, another means of doing it, I'm going to try to explore that first, because I have the replacement for this. Again, it's just something I'm gonna have to cut off and then re-weld on, so I might do that. But at this point, I'm just looking for an alternative. But the big one I can easily do today is to remove this cord. This is what it came like. This is what it came look like. I mean, the electrical tape around here was actually flopping off when I got it, but this is how it looks. And I'm always afraid when I'm pulling on this thing, because you can't get a lot of grip on it when it's plugged in, I'm going to rip it off. So we're going to replace this today with a 7-way connector. It's not going to use all the pins. It'll only use the 4 pins, but we're going to replace this and hopefully have a better, more universally usable trailer. And I guess this is something you guys can do as well if you get a trailer like this, but I just didn't really think of it because I had the adapter and I don't know where the adapter went. Anyways, let's get this thing cut off and replaced with a 7-way plug. Okay, so this is the part I actually plan on installing. This is the piece that you wire your existing wires into, and everything is labeled really well, so you can see specifically what needs to go where. And then this will slide into this right here. You have a set screw that holds it in place and keeps it from coming out whenever you pop it out. And then you have this portion right here, which I guess would normally seal around a wire, but the wire diameter out there is definitely not going to be big enough to need this. But yeah, we'll put it on there anyways. But this should give us what we need to get ourselves in a position of not needing an adapter anymore. The adapters are fine, they're cool, they work well, but obviously they are something you can lose because I lost mine. Then over here you can see what the pins look like. Let's go ahead and get this thing installed. So before we cut this plug off, let me go over what these colors mean. So they should be pretty universal too, so these shouldn't change because all trucks need to be wired the same for this to work properly. So this top wire right here, the green wire, this wire is going to be your right turn signal. The yellow wire is going to be your left turn signal, and they're both also stop indicators. The brown wire is going to be your tail light and side markers, kind of like your parking lights. And then the white wire is going to be ground. So those are the only connections we're going to be using on the 7-way connector as well, because we don't have trailer brakes on here and we don't have reverse lights as well. So those are going to be typically your 2 other connections that are on here. One of them is going to be constant power. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this portion right here, feed it through. Then I'm going to take the end of my plug, feed it through like that. I can just hang, take my wires out, and strip the ends off of them. Like that. There we go. Now we're simply going to connect them to these terminals right here. Now, if you want a really strong connection, you could solder them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tighten them down. I'm going to hook them in. Okay, so I'm on the last one. I'm getting it all tightened down. Those are not budging. I'm going to Just go back and make sure all of them are snug. So you can see we have 3 connectors here that aren't being used. It's totally fine. I'm going to put the split loom back over it. Okay, next, let's go ahead and get this all taped up. Got the sandhill cranes flying overhead right now. And I'm going to end with the tape underneath where the cover is going to be. That way, if it starts coming loose for some reason, it's not going to start fraying like the other one was. There we go. This is going to go on here like that. So you have 2 pieces here. You have one with a complete pass-through. That's going to go right there, and then you have one that has a little stopper right here. So that's whenever you're pulling on it, it doesn't just slide out over time. It's going to go like that. And then we're simply going to take this piece. We're going to screw it on, but as it screws on, this piece will actually tighten that rubber gasket. I don't think it's going to be enough to tighten around this, but it might. See if it surprises me. Wow, yeah, look at that. It is tightening fully around it. Very nice. Wow, so that did a really good job. It actually compressed the electrical tape even. All right, just need to tighten the set screw and we'll be good to go. Okay, so next, just going to tighten that little set screw in there. Probably back it out just a hair actually. There. I'm going to make it flush right here because I think that's the most important part. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's not coming off. And now I have the perfect setup. The electrical tape is inside of there. Don't have to worry about that coming off anymore. And now I can plug it directly into the back of any of the trucks I own, any of the trucks I'll be using to tow this with. Very, very nice. That is really, really cool. So now, again, I'll be able to plug this into the back of any of the trucks I need to tow this trailer with the direct 7-way connector. Next job, hopefully I can get that 2-inch coupler replaced with a 2 5/16 inch. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed the video. The only thing I think I did wrong here was I overcompressed this, or at least it overcompressed during the tightening process. But this is not a watertight connection anyways because of this piece right here. That said, very, very happy with this upgrade. So glad not to be using this thing anymore. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again real soon.